KFI AM 640 Handel here on a January 12th Monday, a very foggy Monday. But I think the sun's going to come out today. The sun is not going to come out today. Gee, I thought we could play Annie. But will the sun come out tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. So we can do that later on, right? Coming up at 8 o'clock, George Zimmerman outdoes himself. Of course he does. Gets popped again, and we'll talk of that at 8 o'clock. But first, stories going around the world, probably the premier story, is not only the march in Paris, 3 million strong, a march of solidarity, a rally, if you will. Je suis Charlie. I am Charlie. That the world will not be cowed by these cockroach terrorists. We will stand together. And, boy, we were all there, certainly in spirit, except for the president, who was playing shuffleboard, I believe, at the time over the weekend. And the shame of this, and this has become a story almost as big as the event itself. And I don't know, it's probably not as important around the world, but it certainly is, I think, to us. And that is the United States just snubbed the Paris March. Just snubbed it. No, thank you. We're not interested. And that is such a shame. When you talk about 40 world leaders marching together, it's really tough to see or not to see the United States representative.
You want to hear what some of our listeners think?
Yeah, please.
There's a bunch of listeners who lined us their thoughts about this. And Denise lined us saying, Obama does whatever he wants. His psychopathic arrogance continues.
I don't know about psychopathic.
It's a little extreme.
But certainly his arrogance continues.
I have plenty of listeners who saying it's absolutely embarrassing that the United States was not there. France is our oldest ally. Why weren't we there? I mean, there's just tons of people just sending all of these messages saying he had nothing else to do. Why wasn't he there? Or why wasn't at least Biden or Kerry there?
Well, how about Eric Holder, who was down the street?
Which I don't get.
He was in Paris. Now, there's an argument about the president, and Hoffman, you brought it up, that it is no small feat for the president virtually overnight to fly to another capital, especially halfway around the world, if you will. When you talk about Merkel, and you talk about, of course, the French president, and you talk about various other world leaders, Netanyahu, even Mahmoud Abbas, the president of Ukraine, etc., it's a lot easier to fly 1 hour into Paris than it is to fly, 10 and a half, 11 hours? But still, it's hugely embarrassing that the United States did not even send one senior administrative official. No Joe Biden, no John Kerry, no Chuck Hagel, no Ashton Carter from Defense, and, of course, not the president. And Holder, as I said, was in Paris at the time. And we're talking about David Cameron from Britain, Angela Merkel from Germany, Russian foreign minister. Now, I would have loved to see Putin show up, but at least they sent their Secretary of State, Turkish Prime Minister Jordan's King Abdullah. I mean, so many. Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas marching together. Now, not next to each other, but certainly 5 or 6 people apart. All of them arm in arm. And there is the United States totally snubbing this event. I mean, a huge embarrassment. And not only an embarrassment, I think the sheer hypocrisy of what the president did, and just effectively saying this is really no big deal. John Kerry, as the world, and particularly the citizens of the United States, are in an uproar of shame. John Kerry says this criticism is simply quibbling, adding fuel to the fire. Just quibbling that the United States wasn't represented? Except by, I think, the ambassador to France, who was in Paris. I think she was a block and a half away from the rally, and so she showed up. But the president did give it, he only gave it lip service, because I think over the weekend he had a few events that he did, and he was a happy camper. goes to Tennessee. Hey, everybody, look at the economy. Literally, he's doing that, smiling and joking while this was going on overseas. While the event, we're talking about before the march, we're talking about the horror of this attack and what it means and what it signifies. Because it's not just a singular attack over the course of 3 or 4 days. What it is a statement by terrorists around the world said, we've just gotten started. You just wait. And the president is joking and laughing, and during his weekly radio speech that we heard over the weekend, literally said, hello, everybody. Hey, I told you 2014 was going to be a breakthrough year. And boy, was it. Didn't I do a great job? Aren't I a bitchin' guy, huh? While the rest of us around the world were saying, we will not be cowed. I don't get Obama. I swear I don't understand. I don't understand what went through his head or what went through whoever senior advisor said don't. We're never going to find out, of course, because the embarrassment is so great. Oh, we'll find out eventually. There'll be the presidential papers released. The presidential library will, of course, be opened at some point. The memos that were written during this time will be open to view. And we're going to see how many people said, you have to show up, Mr. President. You have to send a senior advisor. And a contrary memo saying, no, you don't. Having our ambassador to France is enough. But he did sign the condolence book at the French embassy, I understand. And then a little statement. You ever gone to one of these places where you sign visitors' logs and you make these clever little remarks?
One of our Facebook fans did find out the reason why Obama couldn't be there. They said Obama couldn't go to France because Sunday's the day he takes Joe to Chuck E. Cheese and then to ice cream. So that's apparently why they didn't go.
Wow. Wow.
And ice cream.
I know,
but only if he's good.
I know, crazy stuff. I just don't get it. And as I said earlier, you're not going to see what he should do is issue a statement saying, I was just wrong. I just blew it. I'm so sorry. I should have gone. I should have sent senior advisors. It's that simple. And then the Republicans at that point use that for fodder, screaming, look, he admitted it. Look how terrible he is. Well, Mr. President, look at the attack. And then the president goes, yep, absolutely right. I blew it. Where do you go with that after that? And he's not running for office. God, what's going through his head? I don't understand it. The guy is smart. He's real smart. But at the same time, he's a real idiot. I mean, really stupid. All right.